I think leading into playoffs. We're going to talk about the play-in now. It's our main focus of the episode. So as of today, the play-in has been set. We'll start with the East, which is not as fun, obviously. So with the let's see, 10 seed, we got who's the 10 seed? The Heat playing the Bulls in the 9 seed, and the winners of that are playing the Magic in the 7 seed, and the Hawks in the 8 seed. So we can start with Seattle. What do you think are your predictions for the East, or the East plan? Who do you think are the two teams who are going to make it out? And what are these team ceilings? Do you think any of these teams can make noise after the first
I
round?
predict. I predict. I don't give a damn about who's coming out to play in.
I don't either, honestly.
But like it doesn't matter who comes out to play in. They're getting washed in 4 games. It's just about to be a bunch of belt ass.
The only team I really care. The only team I really care to make it out the play-in the East is the Heat, and solely because we have their pick if they don't make the playoffs. Or
I would like
make
to
the
see
playoffs.
the Magic make it out. I would like to see the Magic fare in the playoffs.
I could talk about this forever.
I don't think it matters.
I mean, I don't think they're not going to do anything, but like, I just want to see them play. You know.
I don't think I want to see them play at all. Like I don't want to.
I mean, who would you rather see? Fucking Kobe White and Josh Giddey?
They're a fun
yes,
team.
actually, yes.
Oh, I don't think I don't know. I just have a thing against the Bulls.
The way I think
they're
about
ever
it,
fun.
the Magic are one of the worst 3-point shooting teams I think I've seen in a while.
That's true. It would be boring.
I
If
saw
you're looking like the first H-Mill session after a long school semester,
I saw a graphic
it's abysmal.
of the leading 3-point shooters by percentage on each team in the league. The Magic's leading 3-point shooter was Cole Anthony at 35%.
Like that's ridiculous. That can't.
That's stinky. I'm not.
That's more than stinky.
Poo platter.
But I mean, back to the question. I mean, I want to see the Heat make it out, only because they're the only team I think could make some noise, even though they probably won't. I mean,
And they went through a lot this year. I just want to see a good ending.
You can never doubt Spo. I mean, whenever we've seen time and time again for like the past however many years, it's felt like it's been forever. We see them in the play-in, we see them make the playoffs, and we see them make somewhat of a run or a pretty damn good run. I mean, they're a 10 seed. We haven't seen a 10 seed make the playoffs from the play-in spot before, I believe. But I think if there's any team that would do it, it would be them. I mean, who just
They got the Bulls
round?
first round,
The,
and then losers of
the
Magic
Bulls?
versus Heat.
Yeah. I mean, I'd want to see the Heat in the 8 seed.
Yeah.
Because of all the teams in the play-in, I think they're the only team that really has a chance against the Cavaliers, although none of them really do, so it doesn't really matter. But, yeah, I want to see them make the play-in, or playoffs. I think if they weren't the 10 seed, if they didn't have 2 back-to-back away games, I would definitely have them making it. I still think they will because I think they're better than the Bulls. But, you know, the Bulls are so inconsistently good. Like, Josh Giddey, he'll give you, like, 50 PRA one day. Next day, you're wondering if he even played. It's like, I don't even know. The Bulls can be good sometimes, but it's not consistent enough. And it won't really matter if they make the playoffs because they're not doing anything in the playoffs. The Hawks, I don't think we need to talk about no damn Hawks. We don't need to talk about the Hawks.
Honestly, we don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hawks can make the playoffs, right? And then they can go lose to the Boston Celtics again. Like, what do we need to talk about? Like, there's nothing here we need to worry about. Like, Trae Young and no Jalen Johnson. Trae Young, Zachary Risachet, and Onyeka Okongwu and Dyson Daniels are not making any noise. They're not making any noise.
Garrison Matthews, though, come on, let's be real, man. Garrison Matthews can go
Mo
out there and
Gay,
make some noise.
Mo Gay.
He's actually
Mo
tough.
Gay is a playoff
He's
riser,
actually
bro.
really tough.
Mo Gay
He's
is a
actually
playoff
really
riser.
tough.
I actually saw him
I'm excited for
on the
his career.
street last week. Was it last week? Yeah. Last week.
Did you touch him?
That's crazy.
Nah, I was
What?
just walking down Midtown.
No, I meant like a high five. Like,
No, I didn't touch him.
But,
Reyes
I
met
mean-
him like 3 different times. That boy be everywhere.
Yeah. The Magic, I'm not worried about the Magic. They probably will beat the Hawks, but then again, it won't matter. They're getting beaten 4 by the Celtics.
Yeah.
So in the East, don't really I don't care. I'll just leave it at I don't care who comes out because it will not affect anything at all.
I'm kind of with Ziad on this one. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's the East. Let's be real. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares, bro? I only care about 3 teams in the East, and none of them are in the play-in. So
Great, yeah. So I think before we move on to the West, let's hear everyone's 2 teams just quickly. who they think are going to make it out. So, Toby, let's start with you. Which two teams? Yeah, out of the
Out of the East?
Out of the play-in in the East.
Cavs.
Yeah.
Oh, play-in. We'll go Magic.
Right. Jack?
Yeah, I'm the same. Magic.
K2?
I'll say.
Oh no!
I'll say Magic Hawks.
All right.
Shocker.
All right.
Wait, before I move on.
Oh.
No.
My phone's on 5%. Make it quick, bro.
I feel like if the Magic get the 7 seed and the Hawks get the 8 seed, the Hawks have a chance to upset.
No.
No, the fuck they
You're
don't.
biased.
I'm not. I swear I'm not. Listen, the Hawks have beat this Cavs team twice this year. Stay with me.
No.
Move on. Zion, who's making it out?
Nah, keep going.
Johnson.
Nah, keep going. I'm with you.
Right, bro. I don't know. I just have a funny feeling about this Cavs team. This Cavs team doesn't really wow me. Like, I'm more scared of the Celtics than I am of the Cavs team.
You should
Normal,
be.
yeah.
Exactly. Because when you look at, I don't know. It's just a feeling. Because the Cavs win the matchup battle. The Cavs win the depth battle. The Cavs win the defensive battle easily. The Cavs are a better shooting team. That's no question.
Let me ask you this.
Just based off aura and vibes, bro.
Let me ask you this.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I'm just saying I feel like the Hawks are gonna at least take 2 games from this Cavs.
Let me ask you this. When Trae Young gets that belt from the Cavs, from that amazing defense they got over there,
Belts.
who
In air quotes.
who is going to put points up for the Hawks? Who is going to go out there and consistently put up 20 a game? Who's going to take the attention off? As I was saying, who is going to take the attention off of Trae Young?
Mo Gay.
It's going to be Quinn Snyder.
Mo Gay? He's going to average like 6 points. What do you mean Mo Gay?
I do
average 6 minutes.
I do want to say, K2, you do bring up a good point, and I'm pretty sure I heard Ziad mention the Cavs defense. The Cavs defense in, I think, the last, month and a half or so, they've dropped from, I think it was a top 5 to 7 defense, something like that, to the 15th rated defense in the league. To
be fair, they did miss a lot of games from Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley.
I feel like I don't know because the Cavs are definitely going to win the paint battle with Mobley and Allen versus Gay and Okongwu. I feel like, given the matchup between Trae and Darius Garland, give me Trae. That's no bias. I'm taking Trae in a matchup versus him and Garland. It's just straight up like that. And when you look at Dyson Daniels, this team is very heavy on their 2s and their 3s. Their depth is mostly at the 2 guard and the small forward.
Are we talking about the Hawks?
He's arguably the best perimeter isolation defender in the league, Dyson.
Did you just put Hawks and depth in the same sentence at any position?
I'm talking about the Cavs.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Cavs.
All right.
But all jokes, all bias aside, this Hawks team, I'm not very sure about the direction they're going. Honestly, they don't have a lot of guard depth. They don't have a lot of size down low. They don't have Keaton Wallace triple-double. Give him the MVP. We love triple-double so much.
Shout out to Wallace.
Something triple-double better than Shea. Something.
Oh, my God.
So, I don't know. This Cavs team just doesn't move me. I guess that should just be the larger point of what I'm trying to say here. This Cavs team doesn't strike as much fear into me as a Celtics team. This Cavs team... I feel funny about this Cavs team as a 60-win team. Let's put it.
I do too.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. I felt really strongly about them being able to 100% make the conference finals in the East up until about a week or two ago, and then I don't know. I I've been feeling a little iffy about them.
Especially seeing how the rest of the East has been playing these last few games going into the playoffs. I've lost a lot of confidence in this Cavs team, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly,
go ahead.
I think I'm really starting to go heavy into Detroit. Like, I'm really starting to lean into Detroit and what they have right now. And who are they scheduled to play the Bucks, Knicks, or the Pacers? The Knicks.
The Knicks.
I think they can beat the Knicks.
That's gonna be a good series.
I might go out on a whim and say that they will beat the Knicks in 6 or 7.
I'm not that confident in them, but I would not be shocked to see the Pistons make a run to the conference finals.
Let me backtrack and say I'm not that confident in them, but I'm really not that confident in the Knicks at all.
Right.
So I really would trust Detroit to go and handle the Knicks. I really would.
Getting back to my point about the Cavs, sorry to cut you off like that.
But no, you're good. You're good.
When you look at how the Cavs play, they're a very fast-paced team. They're a very good three-point shooting team. So I feel like if you can slow their pace, I feel like if you can cut off their shooters, I feel like if you can get in between passing lanes, I feel like this Cavs team can look very human. Some of these Cavs wins, like I've been watching the Cavs games, right? And some of these Cavs wins look very shaky to me. I was watching them play, who was it? I think it was the Heat. They beat the Heat, but that was a comeback win. There was another win recently that they had. It was a huge comeback. Like, they're relying on big.
Whoa.
Well, I don't think
basketball
we
is
should
played in
back
4
to
quarters.
teams.
Basketball is played in 4 quarters.
I'm not saying it. I'm saying that they're very reliant on these big fourth quarter surges. They're not that great of a third quarter basketball team.
Basketball is a 4-quarter game, though. Like, we can't really take
Basketball's
away from
one
it.
of the
I know,
fourth quarter.
but my point is, if they find spots where they lose their identity and they have to try and play catch up in the fourth quarter or in the late third quarter going into the fourth, then they could be a very civilian team. They could look very human.
I can see that.
For a 60-win team, you couldn't find weaknesses in this Cavs club, unlike the Celtics and the Thunder.
The Thunder.
The West.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
All right.
Those are all.
I'm just saying.
Continue.
I know. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You're pretty much saying like the weak point is they play from behind way too much, and that could catch up to them because teams are not going to be blowing leads like that in the playoffs. Hopefully.
And
I
might have been being a little facetious, trying to joke it off, saying that the Hawks could beat them. But in reality, this Cavs team could be upset in the same way as like a 2014 Hawks team. Even though they made the conference finals, they got absolutely swept and dog walked. And a team that I have liked in the last few games is Milwaukee. They've looked a lot more. They've looked very reinvigorated. They look like they've been playing with a lot of energy. Giannis is always going to be Giannis. His numbers between last season and this season are pretty much identical. I saw the graphic today on the Cavs and Pistons game. By the way, fakest fucking game of all time. The Bucks and the Pistons. I'm sorry, fakest fucking.
Shout
game
out
of
Pat
all time.
Connaughton. Legacy game.
Pat Connaughton 40-10-5. Lindy Waters step back corner 3 fader to tie the game up. Are you fucking kidding me?
I enjoyed that game. I thought that was a fun game. Malik Beasley.
Kuzma had 22 points in the first quarter.
Crazy.
Game.
There was a point.
That was a fun game.
With like a couple seconds left, the score I believe was like 114 to 122, and then they tied it up to go to overtime. Like,
yeah, good hoops.
Like with a couple of seconds left, mind you, they got 2 important steals and they made 2.
Yeah, they paused the game and turned sliders up. Come on,
I'm telling you, bro. Last day of the NBA regular season is just the fakest day ever. Keaton Wallace triple double, Pat Connaughton 40-10-5.
Pat Connaughton hoop. All right.
Lindy Waters game tying shot. Yeah, I bet, buddy. I fucking bet.
Lindy Waters celebrity hall pass, by the way.
That was a crazy video.
Oh, bro, I know he was sick as hell.
Yeah, no. Korea did the research on that video. That girl went to the same school as Lindy Waters. So
oh shoot.
Well, that makes a little bit more sense.
That checks out.
Yeah, it makes it bad.
Are you talking about that video where that girl got stopped with her boyfriend on like the street? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's move on.
We probably got to move on to the Western Conference.
Let's
West
do
is
that.
obviously a lot more stacked. So we'll start with Jack. Since you're a Kings fan, they're the 9 seed playing the Mavericks as a 10 seed. First of all, who do you think is going to win that game? And do you think the Kings can make it into the playoffs?
I have two answers. Oh, there's two questions.
Just toss the Kings in general, or that matchup.
Realistically, we're not winning that first game. I can see a route where we do. Because, I mean, like, look at the big matchup. It's Sabonis versus AD. Sabonis. I don't think this is a biased take to say that Sabonis is a top 5 center in the NBA. So, if that game is won in the paint, it's like we could win that game if it's won in the paint, you know. But I don't really have trust in that team at all. Zach LaVine, as I'm sure you've heard, is on our team now. I don't like Zach LaVine. I don't trust him. I don't. If Zach LaVine is the guy with the ball in his hands at the end of the game, we're fucked. Like I mean, we got DeMar DeRozan, and I will say DeMar DeRozan does have that playing experience. So I think maybe with that, he can.
Your whole team has that playing experience.
Chill. 2 years ago, the Warriors. Okay, no, it doesn't matter. I think maybe DeMar DeRozan could get us to the second matchup. But there's. With the way the season has gone for the Kings, we're not winning 2 games in a row. Like, we can win the first game, but we're not winning that next game. So it's not even – fuck it, the Mavs. The Mavs are going to win. I don't see the Kings getting into the playoffs at all. And it pains me to say that.
Great.
But Zach LaVine is on the team. I don't trust Zach LaVine.
Yeah. I just feel like
we're getting killed. Max Christie's going to give us buckets.
So below par, especially the 7 and 8 seeds. Does anyone think either the Kings or the Mavericks can make it into the playoffs?
Listen.
I think the Mavericks can.
Listen. The Kings, they got orange juice connection of playoff or play-in experience. They got the fusion of play-in. Like, they are literally the play-in Kings right now. Like, anyways, all jokes aside.
I will say this. Actually, can I cut you off real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
There is a similar situation to last year's play-in game of a 9 and 10 seed. All right. Do you remember last year when Klay Thompson was on the Warriors and he went over 10 against the Kings in that first play-in game? Yeah. Klay Thompson's on the Mavericks now. All right. Now I'm not saying history's going to repeat itself. It'd be pretty funny if it did. So I think there's a chance. That we could get out of the first one.
I mean, Kings probably not. It's unfortunate that Kyrie got hurt. Very unfortunate. That was probably like the worst day of this year for me. Like, I genuinely felt that. I was sitting in my lab. I saw the news. It was like hearing someone died. But I mean, the Mavs, I feel like they're gonna take it over the Kings, like the 9-10 game, and then it's gonna be between the Warriors and the Grizzlies. And I genuinely believe they have a better chance against the Warriors than they do against the Grizzlies. And that might sound crazy, but
a little bit.
But I just think defensively they match up so much more with the Warriors. Like the Warriors, who they're going to stick Draymond Green on AD. That's not going to go well. I mean, you're going to have to get offense from a lot of places if you're the Mavericks. You're going to have to go to P.J. Washington. We've seen what he's able to do in the playoffs, especially last year. You're going to have to turn to Spencer Dinwiddie, unfortunately. You just got Dante Exum back. You're going to have to hope Max Christie actually plays competent basketball. You're going to have to hope that Najee Marshall is able to give you that 15-20 again. There's just a lot of factors for the Mavericks. I don't really see them making it to the playoffs anymore, but I do think there's a realm of possibility where they could knock off either the Grizzlies.
What do you think about this, Toby, in K2? Any shot for the Mavericks to make it?
I think that the Warriors and the Grizzlies have those spots locked in pretty much. I think the Grizzlies win first game. Warriors get a pretty simple matchup with either the Mavs or the Kings, probably the Mavs. Yeah, honestly, that Grizzlies Warriors game could go either way, but I don't see either of those teams losing to the Mavs or the Kings. Honestly, I'd be really shocked if either one did.
I feel as if there's a serious gap in quality in each of between these two Western Conference play-in matchups, because I feel like the Warriors and the Grizzlies is gonna kind of be like the Warriors and the Lakers matchup from a few years ago, where LeBron said he was seeing 3 rims. I feel like that's going to be a great game. Kings Mavericks, not so much. Again, given the Mavericks' history of injuries this year, and also, like Ziad said, a lot of different factors. And also, you have to start banking on if those guys can play together in a way that meshes well in a playoff environment, which I kind of just don't really see it. But at the same time, with the Kings, I don't understand the Levine and DeRozan experiment. I don't know why they carried that over from Chicago.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
I'm not seeing the angle here. So, again, yeah, probably just going to be Warriors and Grizzlies.
I will say, to the playoffs. You got to remember, Anthony Davis is a top 10 player in this league.
I think top 10 is a stretch.
You got to really think about it.
Top 10 when healthy for sure, but how much can we really do?
If we account for when healthy, like if we're saying ifs, like if we're doing Justin Herbert takes, then absolutely. But
it's not his fault.
But I mean, they got. I personally believe Anthony Davis is a top 10 player in the league. They got the Twin Towers and Daniel Gafford. Well, they got freaking triplet towers: Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively. You got a lot of talent right there. I don't like Derek Lively personally, but he's been decent coming back from his injury, I will say.
I wouldn't even say decent. I don't think he's very good at all.
I think he's a Luka merchant.
So
he got created in his rookie year by getting lobs.
Yeah, I do
he's
too.
being exposed now that Luka and that playmaking threat's gone.
Exactly. Like, even going back to high school with Derek Lively, like, that's really all his game was. A reliable, heavy playmaking point guard who can just feed him the ball. Even when he was at Duke, he had what? It was Tyrese Proctor with him.
Yeah.
Tyrese Proctor, Jeremy Roach. Like, two capable point guards who know how to share the rock. At least, especially Tyrese Proctor in that sense. So I've just never seen it from Derek Lively. I was even surprised when he got picked with a top 10 pick in his draft. And then going on to play with Luka, obviously he's going to have exactly what he needs to thrive. And then moving away from him, I just don't see it. I've even seen Mavs fans online being very not happy with his production since that Luka trade, and kind of realizing that.
The thing about the Mavericks for me is, really, against the Warriors, they're going to really kill the board game, and that's going to be very major to go to the next level if they do want to make it. But I still don't see the Warriors not making the playoffs. Looking at the Grizzlies, they match up really well with the Grizzlies. You got Zach Edey against like Daniel Gafford against Derek Lively. You got AD, and you have Jaren Jackson. That's going to be a very, very, very special power forward matchup if we do get to see that. And they got a lot of guards. They got Najee Marshall, they got Dante Exum, they got Max Christie. A lot of players that can really guard 1 through 3. I don't really.
But are they going to be able to create offense on the perimeter? That's the real question.
Yeah, that's the problem. And AD's been wildly inefficient since joining the Mavericks. Granted, he's been injured and he's coming back from injury, getting in his groove. He's been wildly inefficient, and it's scary if they want to be able to make a run, which I don't see a point in them doing it. They're going to need him to be more efficient. And I'm pretty sure last time I checked, it was before the last game. He was at like 40% from the field and like 30 or high 20s from 3. It was something scary. But wishful thinking, I think the Mavs could make it, but it doesn't matter because they're gonna be playing my team.
That's
right
a crazy pull.
My
team.
Oh
my great. So
and when I think back, sorry to cut you off there, Matthew, but when I think back to the Warriors and the Grizzlies matchup, I feel as if this will really come down to the battle of the benches, and I feel like the Grizzlies bench is just gonna outmatch the Warriors bench when we look back again. Santi Aldama, Scottie Pippen Jr., Luke Kennard, Brandon Clark, Marvin Bagley, etc., etc. And also
Marvin Bagley.
Hey, 15 points today.
They don't count.
No disrespect.
Today's not real.
It's the last
Game
day.
not
real.
Hey, now.
It's the fakest day. But
Matt
hey,
Conley's got 42 today.
Hey.
Nothing today matters.
hey, that's a former number 2 pick you're talking about there. We picked him
That's
over
it.
Luka. We picked him over Luka.
You
We
did.
stood by it.
Yo, why are you proud of that though?
But in all seriousness, when I'm looking at this matchup, I'm also thinking of what's the timetable. You said, did you say Jimmy got hurt at the end of the game, or was I?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So what's the timetable and what's the severity of this?
He kept playing.
He kept playing, but like he was limping literally the whole time.
Yeah.
And so if we don't have a Jimmy Butler that's at 100%, this is a very different Warriors team. Because even though it's Jimmy Butler we're talking about here, playoff resume, playoff riser, etc., etc. But can we get the playoff flip switch from Jimmy this year if he's not all the way healthy? And he's also been a big part of this Warriors late season surge since the trade. I don't know the exact record of the Warriors since the trade.
They're like 17-3.
I think they've lost 2
17.
games
So
when Butler's played. Like, they've been good.
Yeah. Three now.
He has a very clear winning impact on almost every team he's played on. And so when you look at his absence in matchups like this, it makes you really start to question, will this Superman Warriors team go back to looking like the Clark Kent Warriors team? They looked like they weren't even going to make the playoffs at the beginning of the season. And so I feel like this should really be where the Grizzlies look to take advantage of them. And that's where I'm going to leave it at. I feel like the Grizzlies are in a great place.
Yeah, I think that leads us into kind of our next question. So I think the consensus is just that, like, both the Warriors and the Grizzlies are going to make the playoffs. But I think who wins the first game matters, because obviously the Thunder, they're going to dogwipe whoever they're playing. But the Rockets, I think we've kind of talked about it, where some people are doubting them just because their lack of a go-to playoff scorer, and also their lack of playoff experience. Like, Fred VanVleet's the only guy who got major experience. So we can start with you, Toby. Who do you think's going to win the first game between the Warriors and the Grizzlies? And do you see that team having a chance against the Rockets?
I think the Grizzlies win that game. And I think the Grizzlies-Rockets series will be a good series. I think Rockets probably take that series in 6, but a whole bunch of close games with that series. I really want to give the Grizzlies a chance and say they would beat the Rockets, but I just don't think so. I don't see it. This Rockets team is hot. They've looked good, and I don't think for someone like a team in the West to really, for me to say, like, okay, they can really go out and beat the Rockets, I have to see talent and depth. 2, I need to know that they have some type of playoff experience. If they don't have one of those 2 things with a pretty decent gap, I don't see them beating the Rockets. And yeah, the Grizzlies have been to a playoff. They've made it to the second round. They got stomped by the Lakers. Like, I don't see that experience with them. New coach too. I don't really care if he's been the assistant all year, the past 2 years or what. I see the Rockets winning this game and coaching too. Ime Udoka, one of the best coaches in the league. So I'm going with the Rockets, and I'm going with the Warriors with
Great.
that first
Ziad,
game.
what are your thoughts? Who's winning, and do they have a shot against the Rockets?
I'm gonna keep it short for the sake of the episode, but people are expecting the Warriors to win. Like, I feel like they're probably gonna be favored outcome, but I really think the Grizzlies could really pull it off. And either way, I think the Grizzlies will win. I don't think they're handling the Rockets. They got a very good defense going on over there. They got a lot of options for points. Maybe not that 20, 30, maybe not that 25, 30 you need every night, but they got Şengün, they got Jalen Green, they got Fred VanVleet, they got Amen Thompson, they got Jabari Smith, they got Tari Eason, they got Dylan Brooks. They got a lot of options. They got some crazy defense. I don't think the Rockets are losing in the first round. I could see them getting beat second round, third Western Conference, but before that, no, absolutely not.
I think I said I had the Grizzlies winning. I meant the Warriors.
So you think that Warriors are going to be the 7th seed and then Grizzlies 8th seed?
Yeah.
K2, what do you think? I know you gassed up the Grizzlies the past few episodes. Do you think they could have a chance against the Rockets?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. When I look at the play-in teams and I look at their potential opponents, I'm the most confident in the Grizzlies against the Rockets. And it's for, again, going back to what I think Ziad said, their lack of a playoff, number one playoff scorer. Was it Toby? Which one of y'all said that? Yeah. So their number one scorer is Jalen Green. I don't trust Jalen. I'll just put it in the most clear terms possible. I do not trust Jalen Green, especially not in a playoff environment. He stunk it up on the court in the regular season in a lot of games, and I feel like it's going to be magnified in the playoffs. But I feel like if the Rockets wanted to win this series, it would come down to the defense of Amen Thompson and Dylan Brooks. We just saw Dylan Brooks get his ass cooked by LeBron 2 years ago, right? And so when I'm thinking of the impact that Amen Thompson and Dylan Brooks can have on a potential playoff series with the Grizzlies, one of the Grizzlies' core identities is they're one of the better three-point shooting, spot-up shooting teams in the league, in my opinion. And so if you can use Amen Thompson and his athleticism and Dylan Brooks and his toughness to kind of close off the corners and the wings to kind of make them play like straight, you feel what I'm saying? So that would require them to depend on Ja Morant a lot more. And I feel like if you kind of use, again, Amen Thompson if you put him as the primary defender on Ja Morant, I'm not going to say that he's going to completely shut Ja down because Ja has looked great ever since coming back. But, again, and you have a guy like Şengün. I'm not going to lie. Jaren Jackson Jr., he's been looking a little shaky to me because the last Grizzlies game that I watched, in like pretty much most of it, was the Heat and Grizzlies game. And Bam Adebayo was straight torching Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, it was bad.
Like, that game literally took him out the depoy race. Like, literally. It was that bad.
And so I feel like if you can use Şengün to play to his strengths against JJJ, I feel like this Rockets team could find a way to pull it out. But if the Grizzlies can find a way to stay true to their brand of basketball, which is finding the open shooters, and you got a guy like Edey down low, and if you match up Edey with a guy like Steven Adams, honestly, I feel like that'll show you the real difference. I feel like that would be Edey's welcome to the NBA moment, him being matched up with Steven Adams, because Steven Adams is one of the strongest players in the NBA. And when I look at the potential matchup between Edey and Adams, I feel like Adams could come out on top in that scenario. So it really just comes down to how their defensive game plan and defensive adjustments and who they rely on and how they play in the playoffs for both teams. And honestly, the Rockets bench, I'm not really that big on them. Maybe I'm tripping, but I'm honestly bigger on the Grizzlies bench than I am on the Rockets bench. But
great, Jack.
So
sorry, really my bad. No, you got it.
Yeah, sorry. It really could be a toss-up, but honestly,
Jack, you're closing this out. Who do you think's winning? Grizzlies, Warriors, and do they have a chance against the Rockets?
I'm gonna keep it kind of short and simple here, because I made it clear in this podcast I'm a big believer in the Warriors. So I mean, I think the Warriors are going to win this first game, and I do think they will beat the Rockets in a 7-game series. However, say the Grizzlies do win, I don't see them beating the Rockets in a 7-game series. I think the Rockets would probably beat them at like 5 or 6. But I think the Warriors would. They'd beat the Rockets pretty easily, I think. I mean, there's just the parity between the playoff experience on these two teams is like. See how my hands are off camera? Yeah, like it's kind of crazy. I mean, like Toby said, Fred VanVleet is Houston's like that's their player with the most playoff experience. It's Fred VanVleet. Like, come on, let's just be real with ourselves here. The Rockets' time isn't right now. They are ahead of schedule, so their time is coming soon. But it's not this year. I think the Warriors are going to beat the Grizzlies, and the Warriors are going to beat them in probably like 6.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that's it for the episode. The play-in games start, I believe, Tuesday. Should be a great week of hoops. For everyone still listening, thank you so much. Like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next week.
Appreciate y'all for watching.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go hard on them dudes. Salute.
All right. Good shit, y'all.